Cash buyers are taking over. Realty Track says cash buyers make up 40% of the market. Goldman Sachs says 57%. I literally just saw something on the news that said Atlanta, Georgia, 70% of the buyers are cash. Somewhere in Arizona, 40+% cash. Are these stats correct? Is it true? Is it impossible for a finance buyer to get their offer accepted? In this video, that's exactly what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about whether I think these stats are correct, what I know the true stats to be, and how you as a finance buyer can still get your offer accepted even in the most competitive of markets. All right, Matt the Mortgage Guy here, giving you up-to-date information on the real estate market, on mortgage, on everything I'm seeing, feeling, and hearing, talking to real estate agents, talking to consumers. Basically, I got my feet in the sand. I'm in the trenches, right? I don't know. I just made up that feet in the sand part, but it sounded right? So I'm working in this field day in and day out, and I'm going to tell you what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing, what I think is true, what I think is false. I just did a quick Google search, and I can tell you it's got to be impossible as a consumer to make sense up, down, sideways of any of these stats. After I saw this thing on the TV, I wanted to give my 2 cents on it because it was really painting the picture that if you're not a cash buyer, you've got no chance in this market. I'm here to tell you, I think that is completely incorrect. Sacramento, California, where I do a lot of business, where I currently live, it's a competitive market, and it's very, very competitive. I can tell you accurate stats because my buddy Ryan Lundquist, who runs a great blog over on sacramentoappraisalblog.com, he does these stats, and he does this blog, just about every week. You can find a new blog on there with all kinds of great stats on the housing market. February of 2021, 15% of the buyers were cash, give or take. February of 2022, last month, 16%. Maybe that's ticked up a tad. Maybe it's 16.5. Maybe it's 17%. But it sure as heck is not 30, 40, 70. I'd love to see where that stat came from that said 70% of the buyers in Atlanta are cash. If you go to a place like Redfin, which I believe, they've got some decent data. They've got data like all the way back to 2001. And they've got a pretty cool graph that I'll show here that's got, cash buyers making up 20+% of the market. But like in 2012 and 13, 34% of the market being cash. I'll tell you what is something that folks won't talk about. Whenever there's skewage, and that's probably a real word, skewage in stats, there's a reason. After we saw home prices really go down 9, 10, 11, and investors were buying up these homes in 11, 12, and 13, you got to take into account there's homes out there that cost $20,000, $27,000. Of course, those are being bought cash, right? But in a market I'm playing in, or a market you might be buying in, where homes are $300,000, $400,000, $500,000 cash, the number's going to be smaller, right? It's going to be a larger number in markets where you can buy a home for what most people spend on a vehicle. And then in a market where it's in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, vast majority of folks are going to get financed. Okay, so enough about the stats. It is what it is. It might be 15% in your market. It might be 20. It might even be 25. I highly doubt any market's got 70% cash buyers. But that still means there's another 70, 75, 80%, 85% of buyers using financing to get their offers accepted. And here's what I'll tell you. I've had these conversations literally every day for the last 60 days. If you want to get an offer accepted in this market, you've got to do a number of things right. You've got to have a great agent who communicates well, who talks to the list side and finds out what's important list side. How do we write this offer that makes it attractive for them? Then you've got to partner with a great lender who's able to give that list side agent the warm and fuzzies. Let them know that this is a sure deal. I've got a full file on some well-qualified clients. We do a thorough job of our pre-approvals. We're going to get this thing to the finish line in 17 days, in 20 days, in 22 days. Whatever it is, you just need to create certainty. That's the agent and the lender working together to provide certainty for the seller. And I promise you, I had a conversation yesterday where another common thing I'm seeing is if the financed offers aren't going to get accepted, people are saying, well, should I buy cash and then refinance it down the line? They might have a parent, they might have an uncle, they might have somebody who's willing to step in, buy it cash. They're going to work out the financing afterwards, just so they stand a chance. And I'll tell you, like I tell them, I don't think it's always necessary. I just talked to somebody yesterday where the problem was they're putting in offers with 30-day closes. They had a lender that needed 17-day loan contingency. They had a lender that needed 17 days to get an appraisal back. Work with a lender that can deliver on tighter timelines. Work with a lender who can communicate to the list side. We may not be cash that can close in 7 or 10 days, but we might be able to close in 14 or 17. We can shorten the loan contingency. We can shorten the appraisal contingency. We can make this offer really strong. So strong that it's pretty close to cash, right? It's not cash, but it's close. So I think that's the best advice that I could give to buyers is who you choose as a realtor is vitally important in 2022. Who you choose as a lender, vitally important in 2022. The combination of those two, how well they're able to present your offer, how well they're able to communicate to that listing agent, who then in turn goes and talks to their seller. And I literally got one accepted this weekend where the agent said, Matt, between you and Doug, you guys were great. Of the different offers we had, I was a champion for this one because of all the communication, all the conversations I had. What a good job I know you guys do, right? And so it's no secret that having the right professionals in your corner give you the advantage, right? You can be as well qualified as they come. If your offers aren't great, if your terms aren't great, if your lender's not great, and you're not communicating to the list side, you're not going to fare as well as somebody who's doing all those things, right? Lastly, I just want to speak real quickly because I brought up the thing about the cash offer, do the financing on the back. Another thing, because of how competitive this market is that's coming along, is different companies are dabbling in that space of we are going to buy the thing cash and then we have a product where you can finance it after the fact. I haven't dug into these programs much, and if you ask me, maybe I will in the future. They charge a fee. Of course they do, right? They're taking on some risk. So they're going to fully pre-approve you up front, is my guess. Make sure they can get a loan done for you. They'll buy cash, allow you to pay them back. Their fee might be 1 to 2%. So if you buy something and finance $500,000, you might pay them $5 to $10,000 for that service. Could it be helpful? Sure. Is it always necessary? I don't think so. Because like I said, closing with a loan in 17 days versus cash in 10 or 12 doesn't make a difference to a lot of sellers, right? Just a matter of communicating certainty to the seller. So hopefully this was helpful. Please give me any and all feedback you have. Let me know what stats you found that you think are reliable in your market or nationwide or anywhere on what percentage of buyers are truly cash buyers, right? Whatever the case, even if it's a crazy number like 30%, it still means 70% of people are getting their offers accepted using financing. It's still possible, folks. Hopefully this was helpful. Please leave a comment. I'd love to hear your feedback. And if you want, get in touch with me and my team. If you're looking to get pre-approved, if you're looking to, refinance and want to look at scenarios for that, we're happy to help. Go to greatmortgagebroker.com, fill out the quick form. Let us know where you're at, how we can help. And we'll be in touch shortly. And until next time, we gonna see.